Good morning. So it is December 8th. Yeah, it's probably December 8th today. Making some decisions on the Fortress, getting feedback to our manufacturing partner. And I just wanted to jump in and get this one on there. So where this one comes down to is there's this just slight overhang. You can kind of see it right there. This one's been beat up, but see that slight little overhang right here? If you look right here across this line, that's just an overhang. So that's actually the cover lid. It's like 0.7 millimeter. It is like almost nothing. You know, the other side, let me show you. So there's not one on that side, right? There's not one on that side. There is a little one, you can see it there. And the question is, do we want to keep that or not? And thinking back on my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings around this, I remember at first I liked it. I remember I called my dad and was like, yo, I kind of like that. It's like actually nice to have something that like kind of like grabs the pad of your finger a little bit, that helps you, look, like, I mean, you can hold it, right? But it's like something that kind of like helps you grab it so you can take it off. It actually aids, it kind of aids. It's something nice to like have a grip on to help with it. The sides is the same thing. You gotta do a little bit more squeezing to have the grip. See, like if you just kind of like pull up, but this way, it's, you know, when you got it, it's like the pad of your finger kind of catches it. You can kind of catch it. And my initial thoughts is like, I like that. And as I was thinking over all the changes that need to be made, this was not one thing that was on my mind. It wasn't on my mind. But with it being kind of like the last thing that you need to verify here, you know, it's worth slowing down and rechecking it to see if it you know, is right, because, you know, along the journey we're just trying to make the best decisions possible with as much information that we have. And that information, this, you know, scenario is one, how much does it overhang? We see what it is. I mean, we also get to experience this with our own emotion and how we feel about it and how it makes us feel. So we have, you know, the information here. I think the deal about it is if we keep it, we wouldn't want it to be any more than it currently is. We wouldn't want it to be ridiculous. Another thing is like when you squeeze it, you know, when you can squeeze, you squeeze it, you know, the housing, you can almost create your own overhang. So it's like, we know like this decision is a big one because it's going to affect every single one of these in production. So the question would be, so is the overhang okay? Would it be better if there was none? And where would it be better? Why would it be better? And I'm sitting here trying to think about it. And it's like, okay, like if there was no overhang, there would be no overhang. I mean, again, it is so slight. It is so slight. It is not like, it's so slight that it wasn't on my mind when I was thinking about all of the things that, not all the things, but the few things that we need to change. Would it be a cleaner? Would it be a cleaner product? Would it look better? I don't think this is something that, by looking at it, it's not something you'd notice. It is like so small. So really it comes down to, how do you interact with it? What's it like at the moment of interaction? This is the experience. How's the experience? And if you left it, is it something that you would call out and say, hey, we designed it this way? So you got to go in there and see if you're making excuses in there. But I think the strongest point that I have here with my experience is that I said I liked it. I said I liked it. And when I was looking at it, like when you look at it seems like when you're looking at a product that you're making or designing, yeah, you focus in on different things. But there's also like, when you look at it, there's like this overall view of how you feel about it and how it makes you feel as a whole. And like, you try to like dig at certain areas. And this was like not even on the list of like how I was feeling about it. I wasn't like, man, it's actually great, but like, this is the thing that's kind of like getting at me. Even if it's not right on the surface here, it's in there and it's getting at me, and it's I wish this would be better. That was not in there for this. That was not in there for this. If anything, I was like, that's actually, that might aid. It's like, okay, do you go on the side of that it might aid and it might make the experience better, or do you just go on the side of like, just straighten it up, make it, whatever, and then the user will use it how they want to. So the decision here is, does this make the experience better? 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 It's a little tough to like really, really tell right now, because this thing's been through. It's so remarkable that this thing is still here, looking like that, like absolutely usable. And like, that's the thing. It's like, you forget the beatings that it took, and like, that says something about it. Does it make the experience better? Is it something that's worth changing? Would it make a difference? The only difference, if you're looking at it from an experience standpoint, the only difference would be if someone receives it and they say, man, I really wish there wasn't an overhang here. It would be better without it. And the way that my emotions and thoughts and feelings are hitting this is that it went on the other side. It was like, I think I like it. I think I like it better with it. And it's just so small. It's so small. It's small enough. It's like, it's so very small. Again, there it is, right there below my nose. Super, super small. Like, it looks like a tiny detail, but you could appreciate it as a small detail. That's what I think about it. What do you think other people would think about it? Here we go. I think it's okay. I think we're going to move forward with it. If there are any issues, if we receive any feedback, about that at all, or if there's ever a mind change, I think this would be like a wave 2. We already know that there's a possibility that we work on something for like a screw down, you know, like an optionality of a screw down, just to keep that lid in place on a future run. And if we do that, you know, I think it could be, if that is something that proves to be a feedback point that could be better, then we make the decision. Now, I think just off the initial way that it hit me, and me actually saying I like that, and I think it could actually be a positive detail that aids with removal, and it just makes it easy and the experience of it really nice. And then also it not being on my mind at all while I'm like really like going through it, like looking at this thing and picking it apart and like really trying to feel it like in the market, like as a consumer, as a customer, what my thoughts would be about it. And that wasn't on the list at all. So we're gonna move forward with how it is now. I think what we do is we mention that, hey, I don't want it to be any more than it currently is, but I think it's fine with what it is now. And then we make the changes that we need to. So the logo, font, the vaulted vinyl font on the lid needs to change. There's gonna be some radius in these holes and plugs. That way it'll help with shearing. If it falls, it'll help with help to avoid shearing or make it at least a bit stronger if that happens. And it took a lot of falls to break off all those nibs. But even with the nibs gone, I mean, this thing is still, and I say this, and it's like, what this thing has been through, it's unbelievable. So that's great. Bottom is going to be polished. The gating's going to be polished, and hopefully they clean it up a bit. It sounds like they will. It sounds like that's not a problem. So I think we're good to move forward, and I'm going to send the email, and then we're going to move forward. So see ya.